Okay, can anyone give me an example for this? We were discussing it in yesterday's class. We were saying that if we have a graph, so there is exactly one degree sequence corresponding to this graph. But if we see it in the reverse direction, if given to you is a degree sequence, then can you have multiple graphs having this same sequence? I have left you with this question in yesterday's class. So can anyone answer this? Can you give me a sequence for which we can generate more than one graph? Let's look at this sequence 1, 1. Can you tell me what is the graph corresponding to this sequence?
It'll just be two nodes connected to each other.
Okay, so it will be just two nodes connected with each other. Perfect. What about this? Okay, is there some other graph possible with this sequence 1, 1?
No, ma'am.
No, right? Yes, Mohan, I have admitted those people. Okay, what about triple two?
It'll be
What's
a
the graph?
triangle.
It will be a
Like
triangle. Perfect. Is any other graph possible with this sequence? Can you think of some other graph having the same sequence? I think it's not possible. Let's talk about this one.
It's possible, ma'am. We can have more than one graph.
Can you help me out?
A
The other
square,
one.
square,
For triple two.
triple two, ma'am. For
So as soon as you have a square, it has 4 vertices. Right?
yeah, 4 vertices.
Then the degree sequence can't be triple two. There are only 3 vertices in this sequence.
Saying for the next one, ma'am. Like for
Okay, for the next one,
yeah.
same. Okay. Do we have some other graph possible? Is some other
Yes,
graph
yes, ma'am.
possible?
We can do like
Okay.
connecting in place of diagonals in two triangles.
Okay. Come again. So I have this one triangle here.
And like it's a mirror image above.
Something like this.
Uh,
Hmm?
like Roman 10.
Can you tell me the exact connections? I am taking 4 vertices here.
That will become an isomorph.
Yeah, isomorph, ma'am. 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 4.
Okay. So when we talk about we want a graph, so we have discussed that isomorphic graphs are the same. Right? So this is
Yes, ma'am.
just probably another way to draw this same graph. So I can
Okay.
even draw this graph like a diamond, or I can even draw this same graph, something like this. I think this was what you were saying.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So all these 3 are actually the same graphs. So you can map the vertices from here to there. So this is just the same way. So if I say this is 1, 2, 3, 4 here, I can say that this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 4, this is a 3. Then these are the same graphs. Similarly, I can have it here.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can we use the isomorph concept from chemistry? Like, can you draw a pentagon and have 2 different limbs connected at different positions so that it's not the same graph, but it has the same position, like it has the same graph sequence?
Exactly. Very good. Shri Yogesh, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Very nice. So I was coming exactly there. So that's one example. So let's talk about this degree sequence here. Let's say the degree sequence is 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, right? And let's try to draw a graph for this sequence. So exactly like Sri Yogesh said, we have a square here. Then I connect two limbs to it, right? Now look at the degrees. I have a 1 here, I have a 1 here, a 3 here, a 3 here. I'm sorry, a 2 here, a 2 here. These two are 3s and we have 2 1s here, right? And the degree sequence is this one. But you can also draw it this way. If you closely look at these two graphs, they are not isomorphic. So here we have a 3 3 2 2 and 1 1, right? So the degree sequence is same for both of these graphs, but they are not isomorphic, right? They can't be isomorphic. So if you try to see a mapping here, assume that these vertices here are A, B, C, D, and the vertices here are, let's say, 1. So this is the vertex number here, 1, 2. Okay, so let me try to make a mapping here. So what I'm saying, let's say I map this vertex A to this vertex over here. So this 1 is a mapping for A here, right? So A is having a degree 2, 1 here is having a degree 2. But then what is the problem? If I look at this vertex here, right, it is connected to one vertex having degree 3 and other vertex also having degree 3. But I cannot do this with this vertex. It is connected to one vertex with degree 3 and other with degree 2. So mapping is not possible. Assume that I try to map A here instead of this vertex, then also I run in the same problem. So there is no vertex here with degree 2 which is connected to both the vertices having degree 3. So structurally both of these graphs, they are different. They are not isomorphic. So you can make this in any way. So you can actually take any polygon, and after taking this polygon, you can connect some vertices in this way, right? And I can also take the same polygon and I can have these two vertices at some other place, right? So the degree sequence will be the same, but the graphs will be different. And rather than you can do anything with these limbs, you can attach bigger structures to these, even then your degree sequence will remain the same. If you have any doubt till now, you can ask me. I am going to post a link to the quiz in the next 1 minute. I'll give you 5 minutes. It's a small quiz. So the form will stop accepting responses after 5 minutes. So I'll
Ma'am,
close.
I had a doubt. It's a little
Yes.
silly.
Tell me.
If a node is like related to itself, then
Okay.
does that add to the degree of that node?
Yes. So actually, if you are having a loop, it's not a silly doubt. It's actually a very good doubt. So if you have a node here, which is connected to itself, right? So it will account to its degree. Rather, it's called a loop, and a loop contributes 2 to the degree. Otherwise, there will be a problem. So assume that I have a loop here. If it contributes only 1 to the degree, then if you add the degrees of these vertices, am I correct? Just a second. Just give me a minute. So assume that here, if it was this, so its degree is 1, its degree is 1, right? So it's accounting for 2. And if I add it like this, right? Yes. So now if you add its degree, so 1 for this side, 1 for this vertex for this side. If I account loop only as a degree 1, so now if you add the degrees of these vertices, it will result in an odd number, but that's not true. So loop actually account for a degree 2. So in a way, you can see that there are 2 edges, although it's the same edge, but it's incident 2 times on the same node here. So whenever there is a loop, it accounts for a degree of 2. Any other doubts? So I'm giving you time till 2:50. Just give me a minute. I'll share the link here. So no collaborative work in answering these questions. I think Vishesh, I just admitted you now. So we are going to have a small quiz. I'm going to paste the link here. You have next 5 minutes to go. You can start.
Ma'am, there is no name field or like a roll number field in this.
Okay. So it's collecting email addresses. So it will help if, just give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay, I think it's the same link. Now I think it will collect your email addresses. Can you once check?
No, ma'am, it still doesn't. It collects email addresses as in the Google email addresses, not the Mahindra like email addresses.
Also, for the last two questions, there are no options now. I mean, was it supposed to?
They are short answer questions, so that they won't have options. Give me a
But it says option 1 and option 1 for 2 questions. We can't write. We can just select one option.
seems like I messed up. Just give me a moment. I'll correct it. It's okay. Meanwhile, you can think about these questions. Okay. Can you check now? I think you can attempt it now. Right? I've added a field for your name and roll number also. I think the link remains the same. So now everything should appear correct to you. You can refresh your windows. You have 1 more minute. Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. Anything to say about the quiz? I have received interesting answers for the last 2 questions. Somebody who was still solving it and wants to give an answer can go ahead. Till now, I don't think I have received any correct answer for the last 2 questions. So if anyone was still solving it and wants to speak up, can speak. Okay, so let me go question by question. First one, most of you have got it correct, almost 80% of you. So we have done it yesterday. It's pretty straightforward. We have this sequence here, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1. Right? So we have discussed it in yesterday's class. We don't need to draw a graph for it. So this 5, I'm going to distribute it, not distribute it, basically connect it to these remaining vertices. So this 5 becomes 0. This one becomes 3, this one becomes 3, this becomes true, it becomes true, it becomes 1, and this remains 1. Next, this vertex having 3. Yes, go ahead.
I think I submitted like a second late and it's saying it's not accepting responses. Can you change that for 1 minute so I can submit it?
Okay. Anyone else wants more time? You can type it on the chat. So if I get almost 10 responses, people saying they need more time, I'll give 1 or 2 more minutes to you. Okay. How much time do you need? Can you even type that? Will 2 minutes be sufficient or you need more
Ma'am,
time?
just to submit it. We were done, but because we couldn't hear you because you were muted, right? So we couldn't hear you.
Okay. I'll
So
give
2
you,
minutes.
I'll give all of you 1 more minute. Just a second. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Could you brief the definitions again once this is done?
Sorry.
Could you brief us with the definitions again of walk?
Yes,
path,
sure,
yes.
sure. We'll do that. We'll discuss that.
We clearly understood. We didn't understand that. So
Okay, no issues. Yeah, I still see some students answering. Okay, so I'm going to close it in the next 5 seconds. Okay. Okay, so what's happening here? Next, look over these 3. You make it 0. So these 3 entries get decreased by 1. This becomes 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Next, this 2 is a pretty easy example. 0. These 2 become 0. And then you have 1, comma 1, which can then pair with each other. So it's a graphical sequence. Okay. What about the next 3 questions? So we have a graph here, which will look something like this. Okay. So when we talk about the possible number of walks, walk is like you are just walking on this graph in any direction, back and forth. There are no rules associated with a walk. When you are on a graph, so it's like you are taking a walk in your campus. So you go from here, then you come back, then again you can move, then again you can move in any direction, right? So definitely there are infinite number of walks possible. You can actually see 1, 2 is a walk, 2, 3, 4. This is also a walk. 1, 2, back 1, then 2, then back to 1, back to 2, then 3, 4, back to 3. You can actually increase it to any length you want. So you have infinite number of walks in this. Path also most of you have got correct. I think somewhere you are confused between paths and trails. So has anybody answered 20 for both paths as well as trails? Because I couldn't see it in the form. Okay. Can someone explain the difference between path and a trail? Anyone would want to volunteer? Okay. So trail has one restriction with it. So trail says if you have gone through this edge once, right, you cannot again use the same edge. So assume that this graph was something like this. I'm taking a different graph as an example. Assume that I have this graph here. I went from 1 to 2, and then I went from 2 to 3, and let's say 3 to 4, 4 to 2, and it's over. I cannot use an edge again. Rather, let me put it this way. Let me just slightly change it. Assume that I even have something like this here. A 4 here, a 5 here. I'm making this graph slightly tricky. Yes. So I can go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3. And let's say when I have an edge here. So I can go from 3 to 4. I can then come from 4 to 2. But then since I have already used both of these edges, 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. So after coming from 4 to 2, I cannot move further. So it's like if you have used a road once, that road is deleted from the city. You cannot use that road again. So that's what you mean by trail. A path is all the more restricted. So a path says not even just an edge, you can't even visit a vertex again. So here, let's say I came from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and then I came from 3 to 4. Right? So in the case of a trail, you could go back from 4 to 2, right? Because this edge was unused. But since you have visited this 2 before, so I came from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, 2 I have already visited, so I cannot go back to 2 again. So assume that these are cities in a country, so you have to visit a city only once. If you think about it a bit carefully, you will realize that, so assume that this is a set for your walks, all the possible walks, which is an infinite set on a graph. And let's say these are all the trails. Then inside some trails, there will be some walks which will be path. So you can say that every path is a trail, but every trail is not a path. Let's talk about this particular example. So don't get confused here. I have asked you all the total possible number of trails here. Rather, let me first talk about path. Total possible number of paths. So I haven't specified any starting vertex here. So you can move from any vertex to anywhere. So there is a path. So 1, 2 is a path, right? Nothing is, no vertex is getting repeated here. 1, 2, 3 is also a path. 1, 2, 3, 4 is also a path. So these are all the paths which are starting from 1. I think many of you have figured it out. Did anyone answer 20 for this? Let me just check. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Anyone answer 20. Okay.
So can we use them backwards? I mean, for 20, for it to be 20, it's 10 going towards 5 and 10 coming back from 5. But then you
So-
said we can't use the edges again, right? So
Yes. So see here, first I'm talking about path here, right? So definitely you cannot use an edge again, because if you are using an edge again, then definitely you're also using a vertex again. I cannot come back. So if I go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, I cannot come back to 2. Right? So from 1, I have 4 paths. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I cannot ever come back, because as soon as I come back, I'm visiting a vertex again. So that's not a path. So from node 1, we have 5 paths. How many paths do we have from node 2? So from 2, similarly, I'm sorry, not 5, 4
4, ma'am.
paths. 4.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes. From 2, we can have 2, 1. If I go from 2 to 1, I can't come back to 2. Then we have a 2, 3. Similarly, we have a 2, 3, 4. And then we have a 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, 4, 4, 2. Similarly, again, 4, 4, 3. So 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. Similarly, from 4, we have 4, 3, 2, 1, then 4, 3, 2, then 4, 3, and 4, 5. So it's 4 for every vertex, which amounts to 20. This is the number of paths. And if you talk about trails here, so if you look at this specific example, which is this linear graph, so in this, your path and trails are actually the same, right? So even in trail, you cannot come back. So if you are going from 1 to 2, you cannot come back through the same edge. There is only one, you can say there is only one way to go from 1 to 2. So you can not use that same way to come back, right? So in this particular example, your number of paths is equal to the number of trails, which is again 20. If you have any doubt, ask me. No doubts? Oh, I'm sorry. Just a second. No doubts, anyone? Okay. Next, we are going to talk about graph traversal. So since we are talking about all these paths, walks, trails, I hope you are comfortable with circuits and cycle. Circuit is, Chaitanya says, so in any linear graph, number of trails is equal to the number of paths. Yes, yes, Chaitanya, that's correct. Okay, so circuit is nothing, but when you can just have one vertex repeated in your trail. So basically a trail which starts and ends in the same vertex, and same is the case with a cycle. So it's a path which starts and ends at the same vertex. So in the case of a cycle, you will have exactly one vertex repeated, which will be your starting vertex where you are also going to end. Okay. Assume I give you this graph as shown to you in the figure. Let's say this is a city and these are some places in the city. So this is some place 1, place 2, so on and so forth. These are some places. What I want you to do is you can actually roam around this city. So you can jump from one node to another with the help of these edges. And what I want you to do is assume that I just leave you on any one node of this graph. So I make you sit on the node 5. You do not know anything about this graph. So what you can do is you can just move from one node to the other in this graph. And I want you to tell me how many vertices are there in this graph. Rather tell me the vertex set of this graph. How will you do that? So starting from any vertex of the graph, you use some edges to jump to the other vertices in some fashion. And at the end, tell me all the vertices in the graph. Can you think of some way to do this? Have you covered stacks and queues in the data structures?
No, ma'am.
Okay, not yet. So tell me, assume that this is a place and these all are the tourist places. What you have to do is you have to visit each and every place. So what are the different fashions in which you can visit these places? Assume that you start with this particular place, 5 here.
Are there any conditions as to how we have to move?
You can move with the help of edges. So definitely you cannot jump from one vertex to the other if you do not have an edge.
I mean, is there any condition like we can't use the same edge twice or something?
No, nothing. You can use any edge any number of times.
Okay.
Right? What you have to do is you just go from one vertex to other in any fashion. So as you go along, you can definitely record some data. So you can take it like this. If you are at the vertex 5, this means you are at some place, right? And when you are at this node, what you know are the immediate neighbors. So you know that I can go to this place 7 because there is a road which connects me to this place 7. There is a way which takes me to 2. There is a way which takes me to 8. There is a way which takes me to 4. So you can go to any of these. And then once you go to any of these, from there, again, you can do this. You can go to any of these, right? So what are the different fashions in which you can visit all these places?
Ma'am, can we make a tree?
Okay, you can make a tree. So how do you make a tree? I start with node 5, right? So
Yes.
we know that from here, I can go to node 7. I can go to node 8. I can go to node 4. I can go to node 2. So what do you do next?
Every neighboring vertex we take and keep on going.
Okay, let's say from 5 you went to 2. So you said I have a 5 in the graph, I have a 2 in the graph. Then you go to 4, is it?
No, then we go to 6 and 1.
Then you go to 6 and 1. So
Yes.
this means that from 5 here, you actually came to this place 2 now. So now you don't want to go back to this place called 5. You know that from 2, you can go to 1 and 6, right? So you
Yes.
actually go to one of these. Let's say you go to this. Let's say you go to this 6 over here, right? So now I know that, okay, I also have this place 6 in the city. What do you do next? So this is one way of doing it. Very nice. So what do we do? I start from any node. So I start from this node 5 here. I take any of its neighbors. So I took 2. I went to 2. Then I know that from 2 I can go to 6. I went to 6. From 6, I know there is no place I can go. So what do? I come back to 2. So I come back to 2. And from 2 now, I know that I could also go to 1 from 2. So next I go to 1. Now from 1, I can go to 4 because 2 I have already visited. Then from 4, you can actually go to 3. Then again from 3, you cannot go anywhere. So you come back to 4 and then maybe you go to 8. And from 8, you go to 7. And you have visited all the place in the city. So this particular way of traversing a graph or roaming around in a city, we call it depth first search. Because you are going deep in the graph. So deep across one direction. So you go in this one direction. So you keep moving in one direction till there is no further edge you can take to go to another place. Can you think of any other way? So this is one very popular way of traversing a graph, which is called depth first search. I could have told you about its implementation if you would have studied stacks and queues, but I think that will be covered later or sooner in your data structures course. Okay, assume that now again you are sitting at this place 5, right? And you have different friends who are roaming around in this city. So your friends are at different places. So some of your friends are at place 2, someone is at place 8, someone is at place 4, and you want to search for a particular friend. And you do not have a mobile phone, so you'll have to personally go to that place and search that person. How will you do that? Will you again do this? Go deep in the graph, or will you follow a different approach? So if this graph is very big and you go deep in one direction, so you say that, okay, fine, I have to find Aman. And then Abhinav starts, let's say from node 5. to search Aman, and then he goes to this place 2, then from 2 to 6, then from 6 to 7. So this kind of a traversal is risky there in the sense that he's going completely in the right direction, in a particular direction. So here, what one will do, instead of going in one particular direction, you will start exploring. In what way? So if I am at 5, I know that places 7, 8, 4 and 2 are connected to 5. So I'll visit all these places. So I'll first go to 2, I'll then go to 4, I'll then go to 8, and then I'll go to 7. Then if I do not find Aman at any of these places, what I'll do next? Maybe I'll see this 2 is then connected to 1 and 6. So then I had visited all the neighbors of this node 5. Then I go to this neighbor 2 and then visit all the neighbors of 2. So I visit this 1 and a 6. If I do not even find him there, then I go to 4 and then I look at the neighbors of 4, which are 8 and 3. Then I go and explore both of these neighbors, 8 and 3. So this kind of traversing a graph, it is called breadth first search. I think names are very logical, so you got them. So when we are talking about the breadth first search, we explore the immediate neighbors of one node. After exploring the immediate neighbors, you pick one of those and explore all the neighbors of this node. So both of these are in a tree-like way. Then I explore all the neighbors of this node. This is breadth first search. If it was a depth first search, you will start from a node, move to its neighbor, move to one of its neighbor, move to one of its neighbor, and keep going till you hit a dead end. When you reach a dead end, you come back and explore another neighbor of this node. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question now. Have any of you heard about 6 degrees of separation or the small world phenomenon?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain it just in one line?
It says every person in the world is connected to every other person in the world by at max 6 degrees of separation.
By at max 6 hops. So it basically means that if you pick any 2 people in the world, maybe one from a remote village and maybe another from a city, or maybe another village which is at another new corner of the world, you can establish a path between these 2 nodes. The length of this path will be 6. Mainly if you pick me and any other person in this world, I'll have a friend who will have a friend who will have a friend. Like this, in 6 hops, I'll be able to reach that person. Okay. In that context, I'm going to ask you a question. The question is a bit theoretical. So we have looked at various ways of representing the graphs, and adjacency matrix was one of them. Assume that I give you an adjacency matrix for a graph, right? And forget about adjacency matrix. Let's say I give you a graph. I give you a person. I give you some other person. So I'm giving you 2 persons, person A and person B. And what I want you to tell me is, in this graph, can you tell me whether person A can reach person B in 6 hops? In other words, is there a path of length 6 which could take me from person 1 to person 2? How will you check for it? We just now talked about graph traversal. Can you think of some way to check it? Given a graph, given node A and given node B. So tell me whether in 6 steps or in a path length of 6, can I reach from node A to node B? You can try answer it anyway, the very first thought which comes to your mind. So one way is I can just start traversing on this graph. So if I am person A, I'll take this walk of length 6. I'll go and see if I reach that particular node. Then I'll take some other path of length 6. Then I'll take some other path of length 6. I'll explore all such walks of length 6 and It's okay, Shubhradeep, if you can't see my screen. We are just in a discussion mode. So you can just imagine it. Okay, Jayan didn't understand the question. So the question is, assume that I give you this network of the entire world where every person is a node and there is an edge between two people if they are friends with each other. Basically a friendship network. Now I give you two people. Again, let's say one is Sneha, other is Sanjana. I'm just looking it from my screen. So Sneha and Sanjana are two nodes in this graph, right? Which have some edges. This graph have some edges. I want you to tell me some way of checking. So I want to see on this graph whether I can reach from Sneha to Sanjana following a path of length 6. Okay, it might be possible that there is no path from Sneha to Sanjana which is of length 6. Every path is of, let's say, more than length 6. So how do you check it? Whether I can reach from Sneha to Sanjana within a maximum of, or within a maximum of 6 hops. Is the question clear now? Okay, probably I should share my screen and I should try to draw it. You guys are free to help
Are you
each
asking
other.
us to prove it, ma'am? I didn't quite get you. Like, we just have
Okay,
to keep checking. We have to keep going. We have to choose one kind of traversal and keep going in it, right?
Okay, so you can choose one kind of traversal and keep going into it. So that's one way of doing it. Do you have some other way in mind? That's my question. So given to you a very dense graph, it has all the people on this earth connected with these friendship networks, some nodes here and there. I have one node here, which is A, some node here, which is B. I want to see whether I can reach from A to B within 6 steps. That's the question.
I mean, if by any way we can implement a sense of direction, probably
Okay.
we can do it.
Okay. You can
Like
assume that the
if we
graph
know
is.
we are going in the right direction or not, keep checking every time and move towards it.
Okay. If I give you the adjacency matrix of this graph, so one way of doing it is definitely by traversals, right? Or like just now, you said that we can keep a sense of direction. So every time when you move, you can see whether your distance from B is increasing or not using some AI kind of techniques. If you don't understand it, just ignore it. So using traversals is one way. So assume that I give you the adjacency matrix of this graph. So can you do something with that adjacency matrix to give me this information? So don't worry if it's not very clear. I'll just give me 1 second. I'll try to make it clear. So you can see my screen now. So see, I'm going to show you a graph here. So this is a graph, right? I have printed two matrices here. Can you tell me what this matrix is for this graph?
The adjacency matrix.
So this one is the adjacency matrix. Perfect. I'm going to show you one other matrix. Can you look at this matrix and try to guess what this matrix is telling you? The second matrix over here.
Ma'am, is this a weighted matrix?
It's a weighted matrix. Okay. What are the weights?
Ma'am, they tell us how many edges connect the following. Like 5 and 1 aren't connected directly, but like 2 edges are between them because the node 4 is there or the node 2 is there.
Very good. So what is happening here? If you look at 5 and 1, so we have a value 2 here, right? So from 5, you are not directly connected to node 1, but if you take this path of length 2, then you can reach this node 1 here. Okay. So this is telling me, if I talk about path length 2, so within 2 hops, can I reach from one node to another, right? Not just reachability, it is telling me one more thing. So you see this node 7 to node 1, again I have an entry which is 1. So again you can reach from 7 to 1 in a path length of 2. But look at this entry from 2 to let's say 2 to 4. So 2 to 4 is 2. So why is it 2? I can reach from 2 to 4 in path length 2, right? But this matrix also tells me that it has a value 2, which means there are 2 such paths of length 2.
Yeah, this kind of paths same.
So from 2 to 4, you can go from 2, 5, 4 to 1, 4. And can you guess how I got this matrix? This matrix is nothing but the square of your adjacency matrix. So it's nothing but, if you look at here, the 29th line, it is your adjacency matrix multiplied with itself. How is it happening? Think about it. If you see here, and rather I shouldn't say that these are the paths, it's actually counting the walks. Why? If you look at this node 1 to 1, it still shows you an entry 2. So if you see here in the adjacency matrix 1 to 1, it's a 0 because there is no loop here. So I have a 0 here. Here, if you see from 1 to 1, it's a 2 here, right? So 2 here means that there are 2 ways in which you can reach 1 back from itself in a walk length of 2. So why is it that? You can go from 1 to 2 and then come back. The length of this walk is 2. And then you can also go from 1 to 4 and then again come back to 1. Think about it for a moment. If you have any doubts, ask me. I see something in the chat window. Okay. Sakir gives me the answer. So if you see from 4 to 4, it's 5. And you actually see that these diagonal entries are nothing but the degrees of those nodes. So from 4 to 4, it's 5 because 4 is connected to 5 nodes. So 4 can go to 5, come back, can go to 1, come back, can go to 3, come back, can go to 8 and come back. Can we prove that it's the square of the adjacency matrix? So I actually have to prove it the reverse way, right? So it's definitely the square of the adjacency matrix. You can just maybe use a calculator or your NumPy package in Python to do that. Number of ways to do that. So this is my adjacency matrix. So what you need to prove is if you take the square of adjacency matrix, what every cell Ij tells us there is in the square of the adjacency matrix, how many walks of path length 2 are there between those 2 nodes. And what if I again multiply it with itself? So here I have multiplied this adjacency matrix 2 times. I can even multiply it again with itself. Then it will start giving me the information corresponding to the walk length 3. So we can actually do that. Let's just try to do that here. So I'm multiplying this adjacency matrix with itself one more time. And you see the values here. So this is the graph. So 1 to 1, now it again becomes 0 because 1 to 1, you cannot again come back in a walk length of 3. 1 to 2, it's now 5. So if you follow this walk length of 3, so it is 1. So you can think about this in how many ways. Do you see 5 ways there? So one way is this 1, 4, 5, 2. Right? So one way is maybe 1 to 4 to 7. Something go wrong here. Can someone just tell me? 1 to 5. Okay, I'll check it. Probably I'm multiplying it in the wrong way, maybe. Actually not. Can you tell me how this is 5 here? I'm actually counting the walks, remember, not the path. So one way is you go from 1 to 4 to 5 to 2. Another way is you go from 1 to 2, back to 1 and then again to 2. Right? That's a walk of length 3, again starting from 1, ending in 2. You can also go from 1 to 2, 2 to 6 and then back to 2. 1 to 2, go to 5 and then back to 2. So all these are the ways. So there are 5 such walks. Think about it. I didn't get you, Shubhradeep. Can you unmute yourself and speak? Okay, so I leave you with this thing here. So think about what is happening here. And do you think that this phenomenon or this thing which we just saw now, when you multiply this adjacency matrix with itself, what's happening? So here we have seen it for an undirected simple graph. Do you think it will hold for directed graphs or the graphs having self loops? Think about it, and we'll meet in the next class. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, we can discuss. Also, yes, go on.
Is there any kind of proof available for this anywhere?
Definitely, you'll find a whole lot of sources for this. Yeah, yes, it's time. I'm leaving you guys, so I'll share that proof with you. You can look into it. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share some questions with you. So I'll share some exercise numbers. So try solving those questions. So it's not a homework exercise. Similar kind of questions will come in your exams. So it will be helpful to you if you solve those questions. Further, what I want you to do is I'm sharing the link of today's slides with you. So go from slides 4 to slides 10, 4 to 10. You can note it down. And think about those slides. So those slides have some information. I think you can see the slides on my screen, right? So what I'm just try to visualize these graphs. I'm telling you what are the nodes in these graphs, what are the edges in these graphs. So think about it, maybe discuss it with each other. So in the next class, in the very beginning, I'll just call out your names and maybe you can just tell me what you think about these graphs, and then we'll take it further from there. Okay, so the class is over. You can leave. If you have doubts, you can stay back and ask. Jayant, I'm sharing the recordings of all the classes on the Google Classroom. I think I've sent an email out to all of you that all the announcements will be made on that Google Classroom. So you'll also find the recording of all the classes there. And nevertheless, if you have any queries, you can always email me regarding the slides, regarding the recordings or some questions, anything.
Ma'am,
Yes.
in the previous matrix, you have shown the number of possible paths or walks, ma'am.
These are
Walks.
walks, not paths,
So,
walks.
how can we determine the length of walks?
Length of walks. So see,
Length,
what we are
length.
doing is, let me just try to share screen once more. Just a second. See, what's happening here is, when I'm writing the adjacency matrix, it tells me, so if you, I'm just trying to speak about this adjacency matrix in a different way. So this adjacency matrix is nothing, but for every pair of nodes, it tells me whether there is a walk of length 1 between them or not. Do you agree? So walk of length 1 means...
Number of walks, how can we decide those?
So number of walks, how can we decide those? So see, this
Is
one.
it either number of walks or length of the walk? The adjacency matrix.
Okay, the length of the walk is encoded in how many times you are multiplying the matrix. So if I'm taking only A, only the adjacency matrix, it means I'm talking about walk length 1, not more than that. And what these entries tell me? These entries tell me the numbers. So between one, so I'm here in this adjacency matrix, I'm talking about walk length 1 and how many such walks of length 1 are there between 1 and 4. How many walks of such length of this length 1 are there between 1 and 4. When you do a square, you are talking about all the walks of length 2. And this tells you the number, how many such walks are there. So 1 to 2, 5 means how many walks of length 2 are there between these two nodes, 1 and 2.
Abid, exactly on this point, they said 5 walks, right? So could you help
5
me just
walks.
count the walks? I have.
We did that, right? 1 to 2 walks of length 3. So this was ADJ into ADJ into ADJ, right? Just see above. So what we have printed here is this is a cube actually, not a square.
Yeah.
Am I clear? So we
Yeah.
are counting walks of length 3. How many
Okay.
walks of length 3 are there between 1 and 2?
Okay.
Right. So length 3. See here, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right.
Okay.
It's a walk of
So-
length 3.
Ma'am, the length is decided in the print statement or in the adjacency matrix? Ma'am?
Length is decided in the adjacency matrix. How many times you are multiplying it?
Oh, okay.
So think about it a bit. You will get it. So think about what actually happens when you multiply this matrix with itself. Don't worry. Think about it. I'll take it again in the next class. The time is up. I have one more class. I'll
Okay.
take it up in the next class. Think about it. So this number
Sure.
here you can get. So if you think about all the walks, you can actually come back and go back. So that way it's becoming 5. So 1 to 2, you can again go to 6 and then come back. So that way it is increasing.
Also, in the diagonal elements, everything which has a degree less than 3 is becoming 0, right? Is that how it has worked?
No, it's not like that. The degree less than 3. So if you look at the diagonal elements, if you take a, everything is going to be 0. If you see all the odd numbers, a cube, a5, a7, a9, you will always get zeros in the diagonals.
So this 6
again,
is also. Okay.
think about it. Why?
Yes.
I'll take it up in the next class.
Sure.
Maybe read it up, think about it. I'll take it in the next class.
Sure.
Oh.
Thanks.